Alright, so it's the cameraman, as you guys know, for the team. So, as we know, Week 9 has just ended. Week 10 is upon us, which means playoffs will be here before you know it. I'll have the scores up later, but for now, I am going to do a playoff outlook as of right now. We'll start out with District 6, which is our district, and then we'll get into District 5, which is the district we will most likely get somebody out of. Alright, so right now, Dewar is top in the district. They have won every game so far. Keota is second in the district. The Panthers are now third. Gans and Arcoma are tied at fourth, and Cave Springs is pretty much... They're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. Alright, I mean, they've had kind of a struggle with their season. Players ineligible, quitting, hurt. Every team usually has some struggles, but let's go through Dewar's wins first. So, Dewar would beat Cave Springs 54-6, Arcoma 60-12, Gans 55-6. And they would beat Keota tonight, 66-46. So, and they will play the Panthers next week. So, very big game on the line. So, if Dewar is to beat the Panthers, they'll remain first. But, if the Panthers manage to upset Dewar, that will put Porum, Keota, and Dewar in a three-way tie for first. How they'll determine the tiebreaker, they'll most likely do it by points. That's how they've usually always done it. And, yeah. Moving on to Keota. Okay, they would beat Gans 50-0, win over the Panthers 50-8. Win over Arcoma 50-0, and they would lose to Dewar 66-46. They'll play Cave Springs next week, most likely getting runner-up. Alright. But as you can see, before the Dewar game, they only allowed 8 points altogether. Of course, it was in that 58-8 win over the Panthers on their homecoming. Let's get into Porum's wins. So, you know they would beat Arcoma 36-12. I personally thought it was 42-12, but everyone says 36 because they didn't count the touchdown. They would lose to Keota on homecoming 58-8. This would be a season low they've scored in district play so far. They would win over Cave Springs 46-6, and they beat Gans 30-16. They are currently third in the district right now. Alright. So, they will play Dewar next week, so big game on the line. Now let's get into Gans and Arcoma, which, as I said, they are in a tie for fourth. Gans would lose to Keota 50-0, win to Cave Springs 28-14, lose to Dewar 55-6, and they would lose to Porum 30-16. They'll play Arcoma next week. That will be a playoff decider, so this is going to be where one team moves on to the playoffs as fourth in the district, and the other will not qualify. As I said, Arcoma's tied with Gans. This will go for them. I know Arcoma has not won a game in the district, as, like I said, they lost to Porum 36-12, Dewar 60-12, Keota 50-0, and they would lose to Cave Springs 50-34. But I do believe this will be a tiebreaker game, maybe. So, pretty much, if Gans wins this next week, they'll move on the playoffs. If Arcoma wins, they will move on the playoffs. And as I said before, Cave Springs is pretty much eliminated. Moving on to District 5. Okay. As you know, it goes as follows. Walika is top in the district. Wetumpka at second. Strother at third. And Canadian and Maud are tied at fourth. So, but they are in the 1 in 5 situation right now. Let's go through the wins. As you know, Walika would win over Strother 38-8, Canadian 50-14, Maud 52-22, and they would beat Caddo 52-6. They will play Wetumpka next week. That will be a district decider, meaning whoever wins this next game, Walika or Wetumpka, they will win the entire district. Alright. As for Wetumpka, they would beat Maud 60-14, Strother 54-20, Caddo 50-0, and would beat Canadian 60-14. As I said, they'll play Walika, district decider, so very, very big game. Moving on to Strother, they would lose to Walika 38-8, Wetumpka 54-20. They would win over Canadian 60-30 and win over Maud 51-6. They'll play Caddo next week to wrap up the season. Alright. Moving on to Canadian, which they're in a tie for fourth right now. They would win over Caddo 50-20, lose to Walika 60-14, lose to Strother 60-30, and they would lose to Wetumpka 60-14. They'll play Maud next week. Again, another playoff decider. So this is a very important game in order for the Cougars to keep their season alive. And then same with Maud, tied for fourth. They would lose to Wetumpka 60-14, win over Caddo 38-20, lose to Walika 52-22, and they would lose to Strother 51-6. They'll play Canadian next week. A playoff decider. So, District 5, Canadian and Maud are playing for a trip to playoffs, which is on the line. And then in District 6, it is Arcoma and Gans with the playoff trip on the line. So, possible matchups right now. Right now, I believe how it's going to go. I believe, as of right now, Porum will travel to Wetumpka. Keota will most likely host Strother. And Dewar will get either Canadian or Maud. Alright. As for District 5, well, I obviously said Strother will probably go to Keota. And Wetumpka will most likely host Porum. And then Canadian or Maud, whoever wins this next game, will most likely go to Dewar. And Wetumpka will most likely get Gans or Arcoma for first round of playoffs. Now, this is just a prediction. I'm not sure how it's actually going to go. It's going to depend on how Week 10 will go after next week. I'm pretty sure they will start releasing the pairings for first round, but I'm almost sure this is how it's going to go. But I'll say this. This will be the Panthers' first time going to playoffs since 2005. I believe they can at least make second round of playoffs, depending on how the pairings will go. Alright. And it's going to about do it. I'll have the scores up within a day or so. And I'm out.